Address really what's happening in the agri sector and the kind of distress the economy has been facing. Joining us right now, we've got Mr. S.K. Ghosh as well as Siraj Hussain joining in. Mr. Ghosh, morning. If I could begin the discussion with you. Firstly, tell us about the extent of the water crisis which one is currently witnessing. It started from Tamil Nadu, but how deeper could it get? And what do you think can be done to try and resolve it?
No, I think water is a big issue, and given the rainfall has been scarce this year and is already delayed, so it's already a problem in most of the states. So one of the solutions is basically long-term, just expand the irrigation coverage, try to see how much we can do. The other thing is that at this point of time, to address the primary concerns of the agricultural sector, that of the pricing, that of the markets, and that is also of the income support. So I think the coming budget or whatever maybe the steps the government should actually try to look into these aspects. And the other aspects of the water, I think there's a lot of discussion on the water, how this could be, how some of the models in some of the states actually could be dovetailed into a national model. But for the time being, I think the more important thing for the farmers is access to markets and the income support.
Okay. Mr. Ghosh, to put it very frankly, we are talking about the stress in the agrarian economy. And given where monsoon is and what is happening to MSP and where pricing power is, it is very difficult for anyone to make a positive recovery case for the rural economy. I mean, it is as simple as that.
To some extent, but the good thing is that there has been some recovery in the prices. For example, the prices which were mostly dealing the market prices have now moved up. So the MSP implementation had some impact to marginal, but I think the other important thing which needs to be done and which has been hanging fire for a long time, in addition to, for example, the access to markets, I think the time has now come to look comprehensively into this and try to see whether we can abolish it. Because until and unless we do these things, I think it will be very difficult for the farmers to have a proper access to the market.
Interesting. Siraj, let me come to you. We are seeing stress on the agri sector on the back of all these factors. What could possibly we anticipate, this time around from the government in order to really turn things around, whether it be productivity, whether it be demand, access to finance? I mean, there are so many issues and the list just goes on. But right now what we're seeing, the situation is seriously crying out for some kind of stimulus.
I think people are waiting for a roadmap from the government about the investment of 25 lakh crores in infrastructure. Now, that is the commitment made in the BJP manifesto, but no indication came in the President's speech to the joint session about how and where this money will be invested. We all know that there are enormous issues relating to fiscal deficit. A lot of it is outside the books of the government, especially the subsidy of Food Corporation of India. So the government has to find resources for substantially increasing investment in the rural sector. Irrigation is one of them. And also, if I may say so, the government should not feel shy of releasing the data. For the last 6 or 7 years, we do not have the data of irrigation potential utilized. So we are adding to the irrigation potential by completing some of the projects. It is claimed by the government that 31 out of 99 irrigation projects under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana have been completed. But whether there is any increase in the irrigation potential utilized, we don't know. So a number of things are related to the actual investment in the agriculture sector, and we await the budget announcement on that.
Then, if we look back at last 3 years, there has been a complete control over inflation and MSP pricing has been changed. But the impact of that, what economist earlier said, that look, you have to control inflation and fix the MSP prices. Somewhere do you think Mr. Hussain has backfired because the farmer right now is suffering because MSP prices have not gone high, pricing power is not there, and he's not getting a better price for his produce? Mr. Hussain?
Actually, the MSP issue is not very easy to address because it is neither possible for the government nor it is desirable for the country that government procures all the commodities at the minimum support price declared by the government. The government policies should enable that the market prices rise to the level of MSP. And last year we have seen, due to drought in Bihar and other states, and also due to shortfall in production of maize and cotton, that the prices of maize and cotton rose much above MSP. So it depends on what happens to a particular crop in a particular year, and the behavior of market prices is dependent on a number of global factors also. So what the government can do is to free up the agricultural markets and then enable the private sector to purchase. We have seen that after demonetization, private sector has been reluctant to buy, and even now I get reports from various mandis that traders are reluctant to buy because they say that income tax officers are after them. The farmers want payment in cash, and they are fearful of the inquiry by the income tax department if they make payment in cash. So this issue has still not been sorted out. How the payment to farmers will be made, and how will the income tax department treat that?
You know, the delayed sowing activity will also impact productivity and profitability of agri-based companies, and I'm guessing the markets as well will soon take cognizance of that. How soon do you see a revival come by, and what can those companies do to try and beat this dip in profitability?
I think if monsoon recovers and if sowing of various crops reaches the level of last year or the normal level of sowing, then I think the demand for agricultural goods and consumer goods in rural areas will pick up. What we have seen is that PM Kisan, even though PM Kisan money has gone directly into bank account of small and marginal farmers across India, and also other farmers, non-small and marginal farmers in other states like Telangana, where I am sitting right now, we have still not seen pickup in demand because these amounts are paltry. So it has not made much of a headway. What will help in recovering the rural demand is the monsoon right now and long-term investment, which will give an assurance to farmers that the infrastructure for their produce will improve, and then they will spend. What to talk of rural farmers, even in urban areas, people like us are reluctant to spend money because of uncertainty.
My next question is that whereas the first phase of PM Kisan Yojana has been rolled out, there has been cash transfers immediately after the budget announcement with an area effect. So it's not that money is not moved into rural India and the various bank accounts which are linked to this entire Aadhaar scheme. How come we have not seen any effect of that? I mean, if I look at the level of rural stress where it was in the month of March and April versus where it is right now, it has only intensified despite a strong cash transfer. So where is all that money going? How come it is not coming back into economy? How come economy is not capturing it? It's not that there is a macro problem, interest rates are low, cost of borrowing is still low, but the rural economy is just not moving despite that large cash infusion which came after the budget.
Actually, the PM Kisan money went to farmers in a few states. UP was one of the states where at one point of time more than 1 crore small and farmers had received money in their bank account. So the first installment has gone, and I would have expected that most of the farmers would have withdrawn the money and used it for something. But you see, 2,000 rupees, if a very poor farmer gets 2,000 rupees, then I think if I was a farmer, I am a very small farmer, then I would like to keep that money for buying inputs for Kharif crop rather than splurging it. So, that money was not very large, and then because of the uncertainty, the farmers would have liked to save money. See, the thing is that unfortunately the data about various schemes of the government is not released in time, as a result of which a detailed analysis is not possible. So, for example, we do not know which are the districts where this money went, who are the farmers growing various crops, whether it went to sugarcane farmers, how much went to paddy farmers, how much went to pulses farmers, how much went to Bundelkhand, for example, in UP, really distressed areas. So in the absence of that data, there is a lot of guesswork. I have written about it that releasing more data in public domain will only help in formulating better policies for the government.
Fair enough. Thanks so much for joining us, Siraj. And yes, the hope is for better policies, and the wish list is long. Let's see, what kind of policy action they do take a short while from now on the budget day.